Okay, I think the stream started right now. That's what I think. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm making a game. It's called The God Killer. It is a top-down 3D puzzle-solving adventure game. You awake in an afterlife that looks like none of the afterlives we were promised or suggested we might have. It's something completely different. Yet there is a character there called God who's interested in your existence immediately. He's the first person you meet. After you come out of this egg and are born into this new world, I say you a lot, but the character in this story that you control is called M. She is born into this world with memories of past lives and a feeling like maybe all those memories aren't quite her. And God greets her and confuses her, and she moves through the world, causing problems with different people that she didn't intend to, and coming into conflict with almost everyone in this new universe that she arrives at. So, that's the game, and where am I at on it now? Today, I'll just give a quick demo. So this is basically a live coding session, but I always start each session with a quick demo of recently completed work for people that don't care to dive into the details of all the coding and whatnot that I get into. So I've noticed that if I don't have sufficient light in this room, video gets pretty grainy, but that's all right. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see. Over to the work screen, and let us go to the Lipz editor. This is a web-based tool that I made a long time ago. Not a long time ago. Two years ago, to edit animations for faces. And in this window over here, I can swap through some different animation rigs that I created. These are for a different project. Well, they were for a number of different projects where I created animations and specified the how the audio of a character speaking mapped to mouth movements. And also facial expressions that go with it. Now the character that I'm actually going to animate is not inside of this web tool, it's inside of the Unity project here. I have like some rough placeholder art for the mouth here. It's a giant mouth that you walk over the top of, and while you walk over the top, he sings to you a disturbing song about his plans to reconstruct you. And I started yesterday on the session editing the timing. So inside of these little blocks here, there's two pieces of information. There's the frames of animation and like the audio level at each one. So you can see like some different colors here. The colors show like the relative volume of the audio inside of that animation frame. So each place that you're at in your cursor is actually one frame of animation. And when I move my cursor inside of it, it plays the audio at that frame. So the other piece of information that's here is phonemes. So there's a thing called the alphabet, which is a standard for expressing phonemes, and with a set of codes. And phonemes are all the noises that your mouth makes while you're talking. Each phoneme that's specified here maps to a visome. And a visome is the visual expression of a sound that your mouth makes while you're speaking. So you can see my friend Yogi over here with his mouth open in an O shape. That's an O viseme. Visome. I need to get consistent on my pronunciation of visome. And the OW phoneme maps to the O visome. So there's more than one way to make this O visome. So it tends to be many to one mapping, where many phonemes map to one visome. So for example, Q and W map to the same visome, the same visual expression of that. So the spaces in between the phonemes represent the delay between when the different visome will be shown. So as part of my process, I enter in the text "oh little nothing," and there's an algorithm that automatically spits out the appropriate phonemes for pronouncing that. It comes from a cool piece of software called Rita, which is a really nice open source contribution. Okay, so basically my task when I'm authoring this is to figure out where all the phonemes are actually occurring in the audio by scrubbing through, and then add spaces to it. Okay. Now, I stopped with this task yesterday because the nature of my streaming setup creates a delay in when the audio plays. I've got like this kind of complicated setup where I've got one work computer that you're looking at, which is broadcasting to another computer which is dedicated to streaming. So that other computer, I'll call it the streaming computer or the streaming station, it's responsible for kind of all the heavy CPU work of combining video from different sources together and encoding it and uploading it to Twitch. So because I've got that set up, when I do something on the workstation and send it to the streaming station, the audio actually plays from the streaming station after it's done like a little bit of networking, and it seems to be out of sync. So if I play this line while I'm streaming,
oh little nothing,
all of the visomes are playing ahead of the audio by a small amount, and it's enough that it's just a terrible way for me to do any work inside of here. But I was able to, in that stream, to generate a Lipz file, which is a file format that I use, which is contains all the text you see on the screen, and then write a parser for it in Unity that pulls all that data, that all this text that you basically see in the file, and parse it out to the data structures that could be used to animate inside of Unity the mouth movements of this character called the Maw. The Maw right here. Okay. And to be done off stream is the task of actually finishing up the authoring here. It's actually really easy. But it just does not work well with the streaming setup, as I explained.
You are afraid.
So, I'm going to exit out of here, this tool, and I'm going to go back over to Unity. And the thing that I want to get done in this session, I have to pick this task carefully. Because if I pick something that's too ambitious, I'm not able to get it done in the stream, it'll drive me crazy. It's the Mr. Meeseeks problem. Give Mr. Meeseeks and Eric small, bite-sized tasks so they can finish them without taking too long, and then die. In my case, death means going over the couch and getting something alcoholic inside of me and watching some TV. Pleasant way to end the night. But so I'm thinking about like what I want to do and can get done in this session. So I've got Photoshop here. Oh, don't do that to me. All right. So then it's probably Photoshop is probably looking at for a file on one of the drives I deleted. So did I upload this file back to my Mac? I did not. Okay. So there's a face sheet that I edited on my iPad, and I want to get that imported into Unity. I'm going to go easy on myself and say that will be the task I try to complete in this session. But I'm hoping for a stretch goal. I'm hoping that I can get past that task and move on to another one. So I'm going to go grab my iPad. Be right back. Be right back. It's really, I'll just be gone. Just a short amount of time. I'll put the wait screen up. That helps people scan past it on the recorded video. So I think I'm actually even going to stream from my iPad so you can see what I'm doing on there. I'm pretty proud of this capability. Too proud. Too proud. Too proud. All right. So here is my face sheet. I don't know why it's showing in the wrong direction, but that's fine. And I want to share it as a PSD. That's a good format. Let's do it to. I'm like so down on Dropbox because of the great Dropbox fail of 2019. Where's iCloud? Just save it to my files. Yeah, the iCloud drive. Okay. So let's go. Okay, let's try that. Cool. So that should do it. I'll give it just a little bit of time to do all the network stuff and upload it. And I see it. I see it. That was pretty painless. I was worried that iCloud was not gonna work well for me, but the main thing is like you gotta get that initial synchronization done so it doesn't have a giant backlog of data to get. So MA face sheet. So I need to get this basically in a texture format. So okay, you know what? I think it is a pretty good session goal to just get this image available. So I'd promised like a live coding session, but I'm probably going to be in Photoshop the whole time. Gotta resize Photoshop to match my screen. Oh, it's so much better than it was to use Photoshop and Unity with this new streaming setup. Everything is fast, just like I expect it to be. Like before it was like hogging all the GPU. Okay. So the MA wants a black background all the way over the square it's in. Also, I'm kind of bothered by something. Maybe I'm giving it a stupid name. Sometimes I'm wrong about the definition of war. No, okay. The jaws or throat of a voracious animal. The mouth or gullet of a greedy person. Perfect. That's what I want. This guy is the maw. Okay. Alright, that's my partner. She's telling me what she wants for delivery, I hope. She says she wants Chinese or steak. Is there such a thing as Chinese steak? I gotta decide, Chinese or steak. I'm thinking, like, if I go with Chinese, then I've got follow-up questions. I'll be asking her which restaurant, which dish. It's gonna go back and forth a lot. So I think I'm gonna go with steak on this one, because I'm right in the middle of the stream. I don't want to have so much conversation. I'll do steak. Steak, exclamation mark. It does sound good. It does sound good to have steak, or like American food. Asking her when she's home, so I can put the delivery order in at the appropriate time. Also, steak it's like a terrible waste if it's not delivered hot. All right. She says about 9. Okay, cool. That sets a timer on my efforts here. She says ribeye medium rare. Okay, easy. Easy, easy, easy. Alright, let's get back to the maw. Alright, so I want some kind of snap to type thing to make this simpler. So let's go edit the snapping stuff. Snap to, that's already on, okay. Doesn't seem like it's on. I've been through this before. That's like zero snapping. What are you even talking about, Photoshop? Oh, this 1 inches stuff, that's not gonna help me at all. Okay. That's probably part of the problem. Also, I just always want everything to be in pixels for the rulers. I did install this recently, and it's got settings that aren't helpful to me. So let me think. This is a very base 2 type image. If I say every 256 with subdivisions of 4, that means every 64 pixels it's going to snap. Okay. I think there's something too, like I have to show the grid for it to snap. Is that true? Yeah, I think that is true. Because now it seems to be snapping. Oh, maybe it was working before, but it's just more of a... like a hybrid where you don't always have to snap. Okay, yeah. It's like Photoshop keeps changing slightly. It's always mutating, always surprising me, always not quite used to it. No, it does seem like my first assertion was correct. You have to be showing the grid for it to snap. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. So let's add some background. Cool. And we'll duplicate. I suppose I could just black out the whole background and it would be fine, but a nice thing about not doing that is that if in my calculations I'll later make with code, if the rectangle I'm selecting is wrong, it'll show me like a border that is not the same as that black, and I'll know something's wrong. So dang it. Now I don't even know where it is. Why do they have to fucking change Photoshop every time? Like, I was used to how everything worked, and they're just like adding extra weirdness to it. This I don't need. Or maybe I do. I need to learn it all over again. Jesus Christ. I think part of the reason they change everything is because there's this sort of lock-in cycle with all the websites and videos where new documentation is made, and you see all the new documentation, and you say this documentation only applies to me if I'm on the latest Photoshop. So you feel like you've got to have the suite, you've got to have the latest version of Photoshop. I think that's part of why they keep changing it. Alright, so I'm trying to get back to normalcy now. Window. How about info? Give me back info. Okay, thank you. Okay, this shit here. How do I just get rid of a panel that is worthless to me? God, this is so fucking annoying. Okay, close that. Close that. Okay, got rid of that. Phew. Okay. History is not anything that's important to me. I'll just take that away. Info often is. So let's move that over here. Okay. Do I have this down to one column? Kind of dock it off to the right. Kind of just have it be stuck on the right. So it's always on the right, not floating in the middle of my business. Oh, God. What did they do in this update? This is terrible. I was so proficient until I upgraded. It's just fucking garbage nonsense. How do I dock it? Come on. How do I just dock this thing? Because I don't want to have to be like fiddling with it all the time to get it out of my workspace. That doesn't help. Okay. No. It's just ridiculous. Let's move this up here. This I think I can live without. Okay. Just dock it. Just dock. Okay, that may be it. That may be it right there. It does leave me wondering, like, okay, if I want to scroll up and down, I suppose I can just use the middle bar, so I don't need this hidden scroll bar anymore. It's still fucked up because like the horizontal scroll bar goes underneath this thing off to the right. Why did you do that? Why did you make it that way, Adobe? It worked fine before. You added nothing to it. Okay, now just to go back to the original thing I was trying to do. Just put proper black backgrounds behind all of the art. Okay. I can improve this process by just deleting all the kind of sloppy, imprecise black backgrounds I begin with. Delete. And the next one will be E. Go under E. They did make one kind of recent change to the UI that I thought was a long time coming. That the default behavior for resizing would be non-proportional, and then the other one that's good, clicking on something selects it. I mean, there's another like command click type thing, but the most intuitive thing is just to click on something and it's selected. Okay, so let's see. Let's get the rest of it in. Okay, L. Okay, and one more. Let's do this one. Okay, that looks pretty good. So this face sheet that I made, the format of it supports like a much more complicated face than what the Maw has. There's all these empty spots here. It's not really a good design. Not a design. It's not a good use of resources to use the same layout for this guy. But I've got some code that already works with it. And I think I'm going to start with this format. And then after I get everything working, if I feel it's important, I'll optimize the positioning inside of a smaller texture that takes less memory. But I don't want to optimize it right away, because what might happen is I look at the final animation and I say, you know what, I really think I want like some extra variations on this neutral mouth hair to be used during it, and then I'll end up adding in some more stuff, and or I might decide I want to do a technique I don't know the name of. I should just know the name of it, because it's very common, where you've got two drawings of the same basic animation state, and you just kind of jiggle back and forth between them, and it makes a single animation frame look much more lively. The first place I saw it done was Bill Plimpton. He would have these sort of hand-drawn looking animations, and it would just, if you were just staring at one single frame where nothing was happening, like say there's a guy with a big stupid face like me who's just brooding, just thinking about something, and he's just completely still, and he's got this look on his face like for a long time, or at least a long time in animation, from an animation perspective. Well, it looks kind of boring if you only have one frame, but if you have like 2 frames and you sort of go back and forth really quick, then it looks lively. So I might do that with this. So if I make some other decisions like this, then I'll want other art inside of this texture. So there's no reason to optimize it now. I'll leave it completely wasteful. And it will also give me the advantage that I've already written code that looks for stuff in these particular positions. So let me save this, and then make a PNG of it. Name it in a consistent way. There we go. Oh yeah. Let's go back into Unity. It will at some point recognize a new asset was added. No, it was very fast. Like, I didn't have to wait for it, really. Okay, so the import settings. I'm going to look at the ones I have for M. I think I'm going to try to make them exactly the same. Oh, there's no copy? Okay. So default, texture shape 2D. Okay. Input texture alpha. I can do no alpha on this, actually. I don't know if that'll help anything. If I don't have alpha, I don't have alpha. What? Okay, go ahead and apply. Okay, repeat, point, no filter. Repeat, bilinear. Yeah. 2048, I don't need 2048. 1024. Okay. Mitchell RGBA 32-bit. Okay, so now they are the same. Huh. That was like the little goal I gave myself for the session, but I'm only 30 minutes into the session. So I've got a good hour and a half. I think I might as well make a good shot at making a game object that displays the maw's current mouth and shows a selected frame. Okay. So let me go to the scene. It's nice to have a simple scene. I mean, as opposed to a complex one where there's a lot of level data to work with. Then I can hit play and it starts real fast, and lighting doesn't take forever to redo. Okay, let me do this thing I do. Oh, it's going to complain about stuff missing. Okay, cool. Let me put this all inside of level. Okay. What's cube? Oh, cube is that floor thing. Okay. Let's call this the floor. Oh wait, there already is a floor. So what is that? Okay, that is the maw mouth. Okay. So rename the maw. And the next thing I'll do is I'll just apply this new face sheet texture to that surface. And since that's a Pro Builder object, I'm going to do that with the material editor so that the change actually sticks. It's kind of an eccentricity of Pro Builder that if you don't use the I won't get a material until I create one from the texture. Okay. Is there just a way to create a material from it? Okay. Delete that. I know I can just like drag onto here. Oh, but that's the wrong thing. Okay. So that gives me that. And let me see what I used. Come on. Let me see what I used on the other one for the material settings. Mod test, okay. So mod test. What did I use for that? All right. Okay, I think I got it. So we will put the face sheet on there. It'll look really stupid to start with, but what I will do is set the UV mapping at runtime to put different frames there. So let's get into Visual Studio. So I have like two kinds of faces right now. I've got ones that are shown in a GUI way over the tops of characters, and I've got ones like the maw that are shown in scene. And I want them to have like the same interface to them. So I'm going to start with the definition of an interface that will sort of bridge the gap between the two of them. I'll call it I face controller. And I put it in the wrong spot. So let's move it. Ah! So something happened while I was dragging, and I thought the drag wasn't working, and I let go, and so now I have no idea where it dropped the actual file. I have to go find it, I guess. There's an easy way to figure that out, though. Looking for, oh, you're going to do that, okay, that's fine. Looking for new files that were just created. Did I just lose the file? Is that what happened? No. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, one editor. That's what happened. Okay. Okay, face control. So let me look at what methods I declared for face player, because I'll just want to reuse them. Oh, maybe I didn't declare any. Maybe I just used properties. I kind of wonder if I can do that in an interface. of them would be vising. What happens if I just put that in an interface? It's probably going to complain. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now I got hiccups too. So how about, can I do property get? I forget the syntax. Well, I don't want implementation. I just want get. So, yeah, I don't know how to do it with this though. I don't know how you declare it. Okay, so let's just make methods. It's not really an interesting problem to solve. What? Okay. Good enough to start. Oh, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Okay, so this boring thing, let's just add it on to the model controller.